speaking of harmonies, I believe Answers is next.
Yeah, Answers is the next one.
That was a really fun one for me to do.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the story with that one?
So Answers that was one of those songs that it didn't take me long to write it, but the idea was there for a while. So I have a song called Questions that we're going to talk about later.
Yep.
And I was like, why don't I write a song called Answers? So in my like writing notebook, I had a few ideas scratched out for the chorus. I'm like, I don't really know what I want this song to be about. And then one day for my job, I got to go to a funeral for this police officer who had passed away tragically. And I don't know, it touched me very deeply. And I was like, I want to write a song about like how I'm feeling about this, like what I'm experiencing as I'm watching other people grieve this person.
Yeah.
And I went home that night and I realized I had the idea for Answers.
Mm-hmm.
And Answers is a song about how you can't always control what happens, but your response is what you can control. Exactly. You're not always going to have the answers as to why things happen. And that experience kind of is what shaped the song. So that is in there along with like a couple other like examples. Like I was thinking of like what are situations someone could be in where you might not have the answers. Like it talks about a kid who doesn't fit in school.
Yep.
And there's not really reason for that. And then the last chorus kind of sees it in a positive light. Like it's a lady who like passed away from a disease and she's like facing God's love and she doesn't understand why he would love her, but that's not something she can find an answer to.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's kind of like seeing things full circle. Like kind of like what ifs, like uncertainty can be a positive thing sometimes. And it's all about just how you look at things. And it's okay to like accept something without fully understanding it. That's kind of what the basis of that song is. So
what I liked about this one is, again, it's very much message driven. So because of that, I went with more of a piano, softer sound in that. And also, usually when you're mixing, you want to have like a reference that you kind of build a song around. So when I was looking at this one, I was like, okay, we need some harmonies in here just so it separates one chorus from another. Since it's very much just piano the whole way through with some organ, just because, again, it's very message driven.
Yeah.
We don't want to take away from that. So I was like, okay. So I'm feeling very much in the vein of Vince Gill's Go Rest High on That Mountain. So, and there is a 3 or 4 part harmony in those courses all the time. That's just beautiful. So I'm like, okay, let's see if we can try and recreate that. So you actually sang harmony on this one and crushed it too. And then in that last chorus, I throw in a harmony and then another harmony down at the bottom. It kind of just rounds out the whole vocal. It makes for a really good sounding vocal there. Probably personally my favorite vocal that we cut.
Yeah.
It was a fun one. Very good song. Love the lyrics on that one.
Yeah, that's definitely one of like, especially because that's a little bit of an older song for me. Like that's definitely one of my most like, I don't know, that song's like very close to my heart and I always end up coming back to that song.
Oh, so. Yeah.
This song is definitely a different vibe than the last two, meaning it's all piano with some organ involved and just some vocals based off of Vince Gill's Go Rest High on the Mountain. Just because that was the idea I had for the chorus. I mentioned that in the video leading right before this. So we have all the tracks. We have... Where's the bass? Okay, bass vocals in green. So we have her main vocal in blue, her harmony in light gray, my harmony in yellow, and my bass harmony in green. And then we have the piano in purple and the organ here in red. Organ is stereo pan, hard left and hard right, just so it can fill out the whole stereo field. So let's just go and start from the beginning here, and let's listen and we'll talk about it. Added a bit of delay on the piano. Just gonna keep this going here. Good bit of reverb on the vocal here. Well, not on the vocal per se. On the entire vocal bus, we have a de-esser here, a compressor as well.
First day of school in faded high top shoes.
Where's the master bus? Here's the master bus. The vocal master bus, we have a gate here and a reverb plugin. Doing a good bit. A longer reverb tail on this one, just since it's a slower song. Since this is a slower song and her voice is being drawn out. We want to emphasize that in our reverb choice, just so there's a longer tail. Tail means end of the sound. And we can hear it. So if I solo this vocal.
And life will leave you wondering why.
Hear how long the tail is. It isn't
No
crazy long,
one
but
seems to care,
it's still long enough.
no matter what you try. It's not about how the dice land.
It's crazy what this original song was supposed to be. Meaning the original tempo, the original vibe. It was supposed to be very much like What Ifs, like the fishing song that we're going to be talking about later. Like Go Back, Population 85, which that's going to be the next video in the series, I believe. But yeah, it's crazy what we did to really change this one up and set it apart from the rest of the album. Let's get to the harmonies here. Whoops.
He's carried out in red wine.
Organ with a nice low hum underneath.
Heroes never cry is what they say.
Harmony pan slightly right. The harmony, we did this. This was a really, really cool thing. And I'm going to show you what we did a little later. Let me just get through. Let's listen to the entire harmonies here.
It's just don't. Sometimes the questions don't have answers.
You have me coming in on the left with a lower harmony. I'm going to get to the bass vocal in a minute. Let's just unsolo everything.
And life will leave you wondering why.
Nice full sound here. Just keep going.
Weddings go away. And sometimes soldiers die.
I'm just going to fast forward a little bit here because the bass vocal, this one right here, takes the place of the stereo pan organ, but it's lower, thus, oops, it's lower and bigger.
Sometimes the questions don't have answers.
In regular headphones, you won't be able to really pick that up. I'm just going to solo the vocals. I don't think you still can pick it up really, unless if you have like really good speakers. Like I can barely hear it in my headphones, but when I listen to this in the truck or something like that, I can hear it way better.
Sometimes the questions don't have answers. And life will leave you wondering why.
The bass is just there to provide an anchor for the vocals, and it did a very good job of that. And also it's capturing the low end that we basically replaced the organ with as kind of like a finale, kind of like a climax. There's something really cool that I did with the harmony that I want to show you guys in just a second here. I'm back, and so when we recorded her high harmony, it was too high for her. So what I did was I pitched everything down to the key of C. We're currently in the key of D. So I pitched everything down. This was the key that she sang the harmony in.
Sometimes the questions don't have answers.
This is actually kind of pretty. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
And life will leave you wondering why.
And this is actually the original key she sang this in before she came to me with the song too.
No matter what you try.
It obviously doesn't sound like her, but we were gonna pitch everything back up, so we just did the harmony in this key.
She talks of a lover gone.
Oh, that low organ is heavenly. I'm just gonna say that right now. Just keep going here.
She's carried out in red, white, and blue.
That was the original key for that harmony. And so we took it up. It sounded a little less like her, but when it comes to harmony vocals, you want them to sound different from each other. So we did that. But yeah, this was the key that she sang this harmony in.
Heroes never cry is what they say. That's far from what
And then
I'm seeing here
the
today.
other harmony in the bass, that was in the other key too.
Sometimes the questions don't have answers.
So she basically recorded that, and then after we did that, then we pitched everything back up. But we just, for a second, we actually thought about keeping it in this key, but it didn't sound natural. So let's just listen to the bass.
Is why sometimes the questions don't have answers, and life will leave you wondering why. Sorrow goes away, and all you see is light.
Yeah, that wasn't the original key, so we took it back to the original key. And then I recorded the harmony on the left, and the bass. But originally, it was just, I'm just going to mute these two here. Originally, I added these later. So originally, we had things in this key, and it was just these two vocals. These were the only two vocals that were there.
Weddings go away, and sometimes soldiers die.
We didn't add the other vocals until later. But yeah, that's basically how Answers got recorded. That was a fun project. I loved getting to record the harmonies on that. But go stream Tropes of Life. It's out on all platforms.